Hello everyone, welcome to Open Jetbox session, and I'm so excited because it's been a long time since I unboxed something, and I'm pretty excited because I've been craving for a brand new phone for so long, and I want a phone that can capture great photography for me. I'm looking at Vivo X100 Pro and I almost bought it, but I got an announcement that Vivo is releasing a new phone, which is this one, Vivo X100 Ultra, and I'm going to unbox it. I just got this phone 2 days ago, but I don't have time to open it because be busy with work, and now it's weekend. I finally have time to unbox this baby. So without wasting time, let's open it right now. Open it together with every one of you here. Alright, so right out of the box, there's the phone itself. We're gonna take a look at it after this. Let's see what's inside this box very quickly. So it's a free rubber casing here. I'm not really a fan of this color. Right. Standard USB-C charging cable. The SIM card ejection tools. Last but not least, the power brick itself. And I believe, yes, this is an 18 watts charger. And some documentation. Yeah, it's very small. Do we have something else below here? Alright, there's nothing else, so that's all the content of this box. And let's go to the main character. Right, let's go to the main character. What the hell? Right, gonna move aside all these boxes and let's focus on the phone itself. Right, here we go. Here is the Vivo X100 Ultra. I got myself the titanium color, and this is a 16 gig RAM and 512 gigabyte of storage version. Ooh. Right, so first impression, it's definitely a heavy device because all this while I've been using a quite light phone like Google Pixel 6, Samsung Galaxy Flip 3, Z Flip 3, and Realme Nazo 30 Pro. I already forgot what's the model called, but that was the previous phone, and currently I'm still using the Google Pixel 6. And yeah, it's definitely a hefty phone, and the reason being is because of these camera modules here. I mean, despite this whole chunk of camera is very huge, but I think the weight distribution is quite good. I mean, definitely anyhow the top part here is heavier than bottom here, but it doesn't really feel that much heavy. The whole device, the weight distribution of this whole device is just great. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the phone itself again. So on this right side, there's a power button, volume rocker here, top part, speaker here. I believe this is an infrared. I have to double check with the spec, I'm not sure. And bottom here we have the USB Type-C charging port, speaker as well, another dual stereo speaker here, and the SIM card is here. And of course, the main character of this phone is the camera module itself. Look at this big circular camera. And I like how this circular, there are two layers of the design. The bottom ring here and top part there's a ring here as well. Not sure if my camera can capture, but yeah. And this camera has three and these camera modules have three camera. And there's one fake one. I mean, yeah, I mean, I prefer this nice logo transferred to over here instead of give people a false impression that there's another camera here. But yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, I chose this titanium color because all this while I've been using a quite bland color of phone, like black color or white color. This is the first time I own something like what they call it titanium, and honestly, this color looks great. I love it. It's a bit of silver, but yeah, it is titanium. I mean, silver titanium. I can't differentiate what's the difference beside the metal composition, but it is what it is, I guess. Oh yeah, before I forgot to mention, this China set unit, of course, because I believe X100 Ultra, as they claim, it won't go to international market. It's just available in China, so I got it imported. Okay, let me boot up the phone and set it up real quick before we continue. So as you can see, once I boot up, the very first thing that appears in front of me is Origin OS. If I'm not wrong, in China they are using Origin OS, and in international market, their market is different. I forgot what it called. Is it Fun OS or Touch OS or Color OS? I already forgot. there were too many phones with different OS, and I can't remember everything. I'm being old. Yeah, let's get started with the Origin OS, and we'll go through the phone camera shortly. Alright, here's a quick look of Origin OS. Just a spoiler alert, I mean disclaimer. I never used a Vivo phone before. I'm not sure what's the difference between this Origin OS and the OS that they use in international market. And this is my first Vivo phone actually. First impression on the OS, I think nothing much to shout, pretty much like what Android should be. But there's no app drawer. Oh my god. Maybe I'll go play around with the setting later on, because this is not our main focus for today. Let me run through the spec real quick before we go to the camera. I got it opened up in this web because I couldn't remember so many things. I am growing old. But what you are looking at right now is a 6.78 inch of LTPO AMOLED screen with 1 billion of color, and the refresh rate is 120 Hz and very smooth. Oh, this is probably my first 120 Hz phone as well, because the Google Pixel 6 that I'm using is just 90 Hz. So I hope this is running at 120 Hz if my eye is not lying at me. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a 16 GB of RAM version and 512 GB of storage. And running this phone is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I know 8 Gen 4 will be coming probably end of this year, but who cares, right? The battery of this phone is 5500 mAh, and like you've seen earlier in the unboxing, it runs at 80 watts of charger, and I think it can run 30 watts of wireless charging as well. That's pretty fast, I mean, compared with what I currently have. And what else we are looking at? Right, I think we can go to the camera section. The front-facing camera is 50 megapixel with f2.5 aperture. The sensor size is 1/2.76 inch, quite large, I guess, but I wasn't really care about the front-facing camera. What I care is the back, and especially the zoom camera, because very honest, all the devices that I own all this while doesn't have zoom capability. I'm pretty excited with this one because I love shoot with a zoom camera, especially when I'm doing a street shooting or food photography. So we are looking at a 3 camera module at the back of here. The main camera is 50 megapixel, f1.8. The sensor size is around 1 inch. It is 1 inch actually, it's 1/0.98 inch, but let's call it 1 inch. And the focal length is 23 millimeter. And they upgraded the main sensor to the image stabilization. They upgraded in the main sensor. Now it has a gimbal like OIS. How good is it? No one know. I mean, I don't know. I have to test it out to justify it. So the main character, the zoom camera, there are 200 megapixel f2.7 and 85 millimeter zoom lens, and the sensor size is 1/1.4 inch. This, as I remember and as I'm recording right now, this is the biggest zoom lens sensor that for smartphone that available right now. I think it's even bigger than Xiaomi Mi 14 Ultra. So I'm excited with the zoom lens, especially 85mm is my favorite focal length for portrait, for a lot of stuff, because if you know that I've been shooting very frequent with Olympus 45mm lens, which equivalent with 90mm after you times the crop factor, right? And last but not least, the wide angle lens, the ultra wide angle lens, also 50 megapixel f2.8, and as well as 14mm, and the sensor size is half inch, right? 1/2. Yeah, 1/2 inch is half inch. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm not gonna waste our time. I'm curious as well. Let's get some stuff and start shooting with the camera. Let's get my Pokemon here, and let's get a quick shoot with this camera. Oh, did the camera just off itself? Look at this. What just happened? And now I can access the camera. Oh my god. Right, not sure what happened earlier. I think they are setting out the camera or the original OS camera is bad. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see. There's 1x zoom, 2x definitely digital zoom, 3.7. This is the zoom sensor, the 200 megapixel one. 10x definitely is a digital zoom using the 200 megapixel camera, and 0.6 is ultra wide angle. And if I'm not mistaken, if you double tap, if you single tap, you can see that the 1x indicator will change to something unfamiliar. Oh, it doesn't stay. But anyway, if you tap on it, it will change to like 23mm, 28mm, and 35. So I guess this main sensor can do some, I gonna call it digital zoom, no matter what. So you can digital zoom it to 23mm, you can digital zoom it to 28mm and 35mm. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna test it with 23mm right now. And this 3.5 is the 85mm. And if you go to 100 times, 10 times, it's 230m. Or you can even go further. Look at my keyboard. But I'm not gonna do that as well. I just gonna shoot with whatever the focal length itself. And 0.6 is a 40mm. Look how wide is it. Right, let's do a quick shot using the 0.6. So this is like fully in auto mode. I'm not doing anything yet. Gonna shoot with 23. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. The zoom length itself is also capable of shooting macro, so let me test that. How close can it goes? Nope. Is it the best minimum focusing distance? I'm not sure if this is a macro mode. I just gonna shoot whatever I can. I'm gonna figure it out more later. So yeah, this is probably the closest focusing distance for this zoom lens. I think about 8 to 10 cm. I don't have a ruler to measure, but let's have a quick look on the photo itself. Alright, so I'm looking through all the photos that I just taken on my PC right now. So let's take a look at the first photo. This is captured with the ultra wide angle, which is the 40mm. So a very quick impression, very quick look. I think it looks great. Distortion is very minimal, and details are great as well, even though if you pixel peep it a bit, and the sharpness is reasonable. The reason why I say it's reasonable because let's take a look at the next photo. And this was captured with the main camera, the main sensor, the 1-inch sensor that they heavily promoted in all the previous Vivo X series model. And it looks okay, but once you pixel peep it to 100% crop, like something wrong. You see, it wasn't focused, even though pretty sure I focused it near the eye. So so I did another test after this, after I off the recording video, and take a look at this. I mean, without zoom, I think you can actually realize that something is not right. If you zoom in, yes, it's not in focus. It's not sharp, it's not in focus, and I don't know where the focus goes. I couldn't find the point. And then out of curiosity, my hand is quite itchy. I went to change the focal length to 35mm, which I believe they use the main sensor to crop into 35mm, which is the 1.5 times zoom. And take a look at it. 100% crop. Bam! For some reason, it looks sharp. It looks much better than the 23mm. So I'm not sure where I did wrong with it. I need to test more, but something not right with the main sensor. How come the the 35mm the sensor crop is much sharper than the 23, right? It doesn't make sense. I'm gonna test it more. Alright, on further inspection, I think if my guts and my knowledge tell me right, I know why the photo looks soft. The reason being is whenever I try to shoot something, right, I try to go as close as possible to the subject because I want to see how close and what is the minimum focusing distance between all these three sensors. And by doing that on the 23mm main camera sensor, I go as close as possible and it triggered the macro mode. So once it triggered the macro mode, the camera automatically swap it to the ultra wide angle camera sensor, camera lens, ultra wide angle camera. I don't know how to call it, the ultra wide camera, and yeah, hence it explains why the lack of sharpness. God, I hate this. I hope there's a setting that I can turn it off this, because I don't like it secretly swap the lens for me. I wasn't aware honestly, but after I tried a few more times and I found it, yes, these are the reason, because I also take a look at the EXIF data and the focal length doesn't match. To all phone manufacturer, stop doing that. Why don't you just have a button there, a macro mode button, just for the user to click it when they want the macro mode? Don't silently and decide to swap the lens for me. Come on, it's not cool, man. Last but not least, let's take a look at the final camera, which is the main character of this Vivo X100 Ultra. The zoom lens, the 200 megapixel camera, and look at this. This is just randomly, simply just take camera and shoot that you've seen in the video earlier. 100% crop, and the details looks good, and the sharpness is very reasonable. It's not over sharpened. It's really good. And look at the natural bokeh at the back there. I swear this is not by the software simulation. This is definitely the bokeh that from the lens itself, the f2.7. And remember that in the test earlier, I also bring the camera closer to see how close the 200 megapixel camera can focus. What was the minimum focusing distance, right? And these are the result. It's really good. And if you zoom in to 100% crop, whew, I'm pretty happy with it for sure. And then right after the recording as well, I went to shoot a little bit more in my house, whatever I can find in my house, and take a look at this shot. Please ignore the watermark, I did not off it. But if you can see, whew, the bokeh looks quite good though. And this was shot in 85mm. So if you want to further have more bokeh, have more shallow depth of field, a little bit of software simulation won't hurt, as long as you don't overdo it and so that it doesn't look fake, right? So these are the results that I got. I shoot it again, and then I changed the aperture using the software simulation, and I think I set it to f2 or f2. I can't remember, but these are the results that I got, and I'm pretty happy with it honestly. And this new 200 megapixel zoom camera, I really like it, love it. Furthermore, I also found that there's a button called Super Macro Mode. I'm not sure this is the one that heavily advertised, where once you click it, you can use the zoom camera to shoot a macro. And these are the results I got it by shooting it using the 85mm focal length with Super Macro Mode turned on, and probably I overdo it on the bokeh side, so the whole image looked damn weird. And if you ask me, the focusing distance is actually not much different without turning on the Super Macro Mode. So I would say that if you would like to shoot with macro with 85mm, don't turn on the Super Macro Mode, because the focusing distance doesn't change. It doesn't make much difference, and the bokeh will look more natural without turning it on. But of course, if you absolutely must shoot something very tiny and let's say it's an insect, ants, or I don't know, larva, butterfly, you can click the 10 times zoom. I click it, and these are the results that I got. And look at it. It's not the world sharpest photo, and because definitely this is a digital crop, right? Digital zoom. But hey, it can deliver some result if you look closely. Like look at all this micro dirt, I would say, on this nice time crop. But hey, it's a pretty good result, but I don't think I'll use it often unless I absolutely need it. I'll stay with the 85mm focal length because the sharpness, the bokeh, the depth of field is so juicy. I love it. And of course, I know I should really head out and shoot more real world example instead of staying in my room and find random stuff to shoot. But I don't have time for today. Maybe I'll make some plan and work on it tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. Let's see how it goes, right? Alright, so there you have it. A quick unboxing and my very first impression on this Vivo X100 Ultra. I intended to bring it to photo shooting outside using this phone camera. I want to know how far and how good this camera can go. And I'm not sure if you guys interested to know more. Maybe you can reach out to me to Instagram, and if I have enough material and contents, probably I'll make a video about this camera itself. Let's see if I able to enjoy this Vivo X100 and if I able to put my SIM card inside this device to use it as my main phone from now onwards, right? Alright, that's all my unboxing and quick impression of this Vivo X100 right Ultra right now. Wow. Vivo X100 Ultra. Oh my god, my tongue twisted. Right, see you guys in my next video. Oh, what did I just press? Alright, see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.